serious rain. I better close the doors. Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. We're here for, let's call it a belated Friday reads because it is 2:30 on Saturday afternoon here, which means I think it's pretty much Saturday wherever you are in the world. So, our theme this month, besides Shorty September, is also Patrice Jones Says Just Get to It. So that's what we're going to do. I have finished 5 more books this week. Hooray. And we're going to talk about them. So, first up, A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This one I talked about quite a bit in my last Friday reads and also in my mid-month book bash vlog. So I'm not going to say too much about it here. I absolutely loved it. I am now a true T. Kingfisher fan. Looking forward to reading my next T. Kingfisher. I have gotten several great suggestions in the comments. So if you have a favorite T. Kingfisher, let me know. Also, let me know what genre you would consider her writing. I think that she probably writes in a couple different ones. I think some fantasy, and this one is the one I'm curious about because I don't read much horror, and it's not very hardcore horror. So is this soft horror? Horror is a hard word to say. Is it cozy horror? Is that a thing? Anyway, this book centers around a woman who is a paleoentomologist, meaning she studies bugs, but like fossilized bugs, to learn about the civilizations in which the bug carcasses were found. But she's on hiatus for reasons, and so she goes back to stay with her mom, who is having some difficulties in their childhood home, and shenanigans ensue. Oh, really enjoyed. So there's that one. And again, I spoke about it extensively in my last 2 videos. So check it out if you want to know more. Then I read Courtney Milan's novella, Mrs. Martin's Incomparable Adventure. This one, I think it was a Spinster's Cove. No, a Worth Saga novella. I'm not sure if I've read that series, but anyway, I really enjoy Regency romance on occasion. I get in the mood periodically. And the thing I love about Regency romance is, again, it's cozy, it's comforting, and you always know it's gonna, everything be tied up with a bow in the end. That's what you read them for, happy endings. And this one, everything was tied up very nicely. So this one is quite a unique spin on the Regency romance, however, because this one involves a spinster, a 64-year-old spinster, and a 69-year-old widow. And the two have a lovely romance, these 2 ladies. It starts out with the spinster trying to swindle the widow, but they quickly get in cahoots together to try to kick out terrible nephew from the boarding house and like kick him out of their lives because he's horrible. He's really, really bad. So like my favorite scene in the book is when they've hired this off-key choir to chase after him, singing the Hallelujah chorus to the tune of his name, which escapes me at the moment. At one point, they're calling him Crappy, which he wants to be called Cappy, but I forget. Tommy Bobkins or Something to the effect. Anyway, it's funny. Trust me on this. So funny. So love that, love that. And then, that was 10 and 11. So I had quite the streak of loved them books. Really, like 11 in a row of solids is strong work, strong work. Then I hit a snag. So, Goodbye Again by Johnny Sun. So this is a nonfiction, a New York Times bestseller. I don't know if it's for this book or for his graphic novel, which I will get to. This is essays, reflections, and illustrations on his life. It is somewhat of a memoir. So he wrote this that I think is quite a popular little book. Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too, which I have not read this one. I have it on my TBR and plan to get to it soon. Fingers crossed I enjoy it, because I did not enjoy this Goodbye Again. Not one little bit did I enjoy it. Our author deals with anxiety. He's anxious about his productivity levels, and he's anxious about being too productive and not relaxing enough. He's also anxious about moving to new places and not socializing, and anxious about enjoying being home. And yeah. So, number one, I don't have these anxieties, so I could not relate. But typically I enjoy reading other people's perspectives. I think that is valuable to do, to learn, to see the world the way others do, or, just to see the world from their perspective. But, I'm just going to say it. It was so incredibly navel-gazing. And I can't even recommend that if you deal with these issues, that this might be a good book for you to read, because it seems to me that it would be very triggering. I don't know. But it was also just quite boring. Even the artistic bits were like how to take care of houseplants. And there was a whole long section about how to cook eggs in a variety of ways. And I would have just DNF'd the thing, but it was short, so I thought, let's just do it. And the chapters were really short, just a page or 2 pages. The egg article was quite long for whatever reason. I do not know. So I kept, skimming and getting to the next one, and then skimming that to see if it was interesting and getting to the next one. But yeah, no. Just no. Not for me. And then I picked up Paper Girls, and I apologize, the author illustrator is not on the cover, but this one is much loved on BookTube and just in the world in general. And I get it, I totally get it. However, I have mentioned many times how I don't really get on with graphic novels. I like more graphic nonfiction. Sometimes I get a hit, but it's mostly miss for me. And this was a miss. It was very, very, very chaotic. It's for girls, I guess the tween, early teen range. And they run paper routes back in the maybe 80s. I'm not sure of the, in the past, but recent-ish past. And they're tough. You can tell by the cover. These are some tough girls. So, but it's just so chaotic, and I just, again, am bored by this kind of format. often. And I didn't really catch some things that were happening. Obviously, I did not. Because I read this for Half and Half Shorts for this Shorty September readathon. And Half and Half Shorts is where you read a book and watch the movie. And not gonna lie, totally cheating here. I also don't watch a lot of anything. So I didn't really feel like watching anything, but I mean, other than BookTube, I watch a lot of BookTube and love it. But anyway, I had watched Sean and Bert do some suggestions for book to movie, you know, to see if there was anything I was interested in. And this popped up, and I said to myself, well, that'll be quick. I can just read the little graphic novel and watch the trailer for the TV show. This is a TV show, not a movie, but acceptable. So that's what I did. I watched the trailer for Paper Girls, and it was really good. And I realized that I had missed a, not a flashback, like a future jump. Anyway, so I would be tempted to watch Paper Girls, the show. However, I still have not finished The Office, which Brent and I have been watching together for, you know, a couple years now. And I haven't finished Dairy Girls either, which I've been watching for even longer. So, you know, that's how that goes. And also, I finished, Babel by R.F. Kuang. And Rebecca Roanhorse says that this is a masterpiece. And from my perspective, I would kind of agree with her. I thoroughly enjoyed this from beginning to end. This is Babel, an Arcane history. So, Babel, sorry, my battery's running low. Babel is, I guess, dark academia, fantasy. So this is an alternate history in the UK in the 1800s. And it talks a lot about colonialism, but also from the perspective of the different races that were colonized, or seeking trade with, etc., like India and China and Jamaica, African nations, the Americas. And the perspective of these peoples and the ones that are perhaps of mixed race on the border of being accepted, even women as well, and how easy it is to see the world through the colonizer's eyes and not seek the change that would benefit everyone. I just found it super interesting. It also centers around, you know, Babel, the Tower of Babel in the Bible. So Babel is on Oxford's campus, and it is translation service, translation education, languages, and the magic system is based around translation and languages. So as I was reading this again, I was engrossed the whole time. There were a couple minor spots that were slightly slow for me, like when he begins helping this alternate Robin Hood type society steal from the university, and toward the end there was another section, but anyway, minor, like half an hour here and there. It was a 22-hour audiobook, and I kept trying to think to myself, why is this book so engrossing? Because I cannot say that I really cared about any of the characters. So there are 4 main characters. You've got Robin, who's the center of this story, and he is a boy a young man, university student, whose father is a professor at Babel, and his mother was Chinese. So he was brought over by his father from China. His father never acknowledges that he is the father, but he sponsors him. And then you've got, his roommate who is from India, and then 2 girls in their class. So their class is 4 students for that school year, his cohort. 2 girls, one, I think, from Haiti. She speaks French Creole. And then a girl who, her father is an admiral in the UK military, and her brother was actually at Babel, but he died, and so she's taking his place. So you have the perspective of the colonizers through her. So super interesting, but I just didn't really care about any of them. The plot wasn't, a lot. There's not a huge plot. Things happen, but it's not a big deal. There aren't plot twists a lot of, nothing, no cliffhangers really. Well, they didn't grip me anyway. The plot was not gripping. There are also, toward the end, maybe a few minor plot holes if you're into that sort of thing. I typically am not, but I could sense that they were probably there. So, the characters were not pulling me in. The plot was not pulling me along. And so I was like, what in the world? I knew that I liked the collegiate aspect. So the collegiate aspect was really engrossing to me. But was that it? And then it finally dawned on me. And I knew that I really, really love linguistics a lot. And the themes discussed in this book appealed to me. And I just kind of realized at the end that it was the intellectual aspect of this book that really pulled me along and kept me reading and just mesmerized, because R.F. Kuang deals with some heavy-duty topics in, to me, they were very nuanced ways that really, you knew they were there and you knew they were obvious, but she didn't tell you clearly. You discovered them yourself, and it really made me think. So I really appreciated the book, and I found it highly entertaining for intellectual reasons. So there you go. So anyway, those are the ones I have completed. I have one on the go, but I didn't take a picture, so I'll talk about that later. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. And I think at the end here, I'm going to tack on some other non-bookish projects that I mentioned in my vlog that you might want to see the progress I've made, or lack thereof. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye. All right, here are the roses from last weekend. I won't get too close because they're fading, but I got 2 more for Teacher's Day. And here is the puzzle. Made quite a bit of progress, but this is problematic because we're having a party next Saturday, so I gotta finish. Here are those cool flowers as well. And the lilies, which are going strong. Lilies are awesome. And here's my update. You can see my OCD pattern is still keeping. There, I gotta finish my nonfiction. Shorty September. I need lederhosen. Oh, I did dolphin short. No, I didn't do dolphin shorts. I did half and half. I hope I didn't say that wrong before. And modern classic I need. And then that's it, except for my cross stitch, which I did finally do, but all I did was the little duck. So I've fallen off the cross-stitch wagon since summer vacation left. So anyway, oh, and there's my new wagon. My gosh, isn't it beautiful? Happy day. So cute. Okay, bye-bye.